This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Y'all people know all day we've been making the jobs, and y'all people know every time I come through this with a we'll be all checking them out. So let me know this. Y'all really know what we do. We've been making the content, we've been making the fly, we've been making the order.
How does a human even do that?
Wow.
I don't know.
Welcome to DBL. You want to give it a rock?
No, I can't.
I can see Sam doing that in our car on the way to...
I can't do it.
No,
I
I
wish
think you nailed it. I thought I was sitting next to Busta.
I couldn't even tell who was down there. All right, let's get into this. That was Busta Rhymes, not here, there, performing a medley of his hits at the BET Awards last night. Which celebrity hip hop celebrated? I'm sorry, I'm screwed that whole thing up. Hey, welcome to DBL's 50th anniversary of hip hop was yesterday. That's Busta Rhymes. He was honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award and got emotional during his standing ovation. The rapper has been nominated for 12 Grammys and is considered one of the best MCs and producers out there. But everyone is talking about Patti LaBelle, who had trouble remembering the words to Tina Turner's hit "The Best" during her tribute to the late singer. Let's watch.
What if I can't see the words? I don't know. I'm trying, y'all. Can't go wrong. Can't do it. I'm trying, y'all. Come on. Cautiously play love.
See, Sam, you can't do Busta, but you could probably do Patti LaBelle.
Gosh,
Is that your worst fear, Sam?
Yes, and I screw up on the teleprompter. We've all screwed up on the teleprompter.
Were you just here?
Yes, I was going to say that. But the difference is, and I get it, Patti LaBelle is of a certain age now. She should be given that grace. But in my opinion, if you're going to be singing the late Tina Turner's hit, and I know she was relying on that teleprompter, I would hope you had a backup plan. I would hope you know every single word. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, before we get to Patti, I do want to give Busta his due.
Yes.
As a true pioneer of hip-hop, and when hip-hop wasn't mainstream at all, to see it kind of come full circle where we're leading our show with it, it seemed implausible even 15, 20 years ago. So shout out to him and all the people that did it in the 90s. They got ripped off with contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, to see, you know, you hear rappers now in their songs talking about make sure that you own your masters to your, like, people are a lot more business savvy because of that generation. So shout out to him. As to Patti, she's a legend, and so it's so difficult, but that can't happen, man. That can't happen, especially at a Tina tribute. You know, and if they're running, I'm assuming they have to be running through rehearsals. I would think there'd be a producer, somebody like, let's make this a duet just in case like somebody needs to pick up the, you know, just have two divas do it. You know, I don't know how she was. Maybe she just wanted the spotlight. But if you only want the spotlight on yourself, sometimes the spotlight's only going to be on yourself. So doesn't tarnish her overall reputation, but that was really bad, especially because Tina just passed and she was such an icon.
Yeah, quickly, I just want to say my childhood, like 8th grade, high school, Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
my goodness.
it wasn't everybody. I grew up with,
I associate
rap music.
summers with Busta
You know,
Rhymes.
yeah, so it throws me back, and I'm glad he's getting his dues right now. But for Patti LaBelle, this isn't the first time she's done it.
What?
Remember Christmas time? I think we have the clip right here of her singing at Christmas.
Oh, no.
Lights twinkle all around. Next car, honey, next car. Woo! Woo! Thank you.
Ouch. Listen, I screw up all the time.
Me too.
People are probably like, ouch in here, but that was an oucher.
The next line was this Christmas. Just say it in the off chance. Someone's going to be mad if you don't nail it. But
Should we give the same grace to singers who have to memorize lines as opposed to, like, you and I screw up?
And it's right there.
But you're reading a different script.
But
every
don't you
single
know-
day. I think there's more
It's
of an
not
argument
one
for
song.
like this Christmas is like I grew up in a black family. That's I've heard that song 40 Christmases.
You could probably rattle off most of it right now, right?
Yes, but especially during the season.
Aren't there like, don't you rehearse?
And also these songs aren't changing. Like that Tina song had been out for a while.
I know.
This Christmas, that didn't just drop on a mixtape. That's been out. So like you gotta nail that, or just don't do it.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
pass.
pass.
Pass, yeah.
Shout out to Patti though. She's a legend.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Thanks for saying that and saving everybody out. All right. Taylor Swift has a stern message to her fans. Stop cyberbullying her ex-lover. So during her concert in Minneapolis, she played Dear John, a song from her 2010 album, Speak Now. It's believed to be about her relationship with John Mayer when she was 19. In advance of her version of Speak Now coming out next week, she asked her fans online to be kind and rewind. Watch.
I'm 33 years old. I don't care about anything that happened to me when I was 19 except the songs I wrote and the memories we made together. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm not putting this album out so that you can go and should feel the need to defend me on the internet against someone you think I might have written a song about 14 billion years ago when I was 19. I do not care. We have all grown up. We're good.
So you think this is going to stop people from attacking her exes? There's many of them.
No.
You don't think so?
But she said
No.
stop.
I think it will. I think they want to do what Taylor says. And I do think that you'll see less of it. There's still going to be rogue people. There's still going to be bots. But I definitely think that they're going to take a page.
But those rogue people are in the hundreds of thousands. She has millions of fans.
I don't think the 100,000 people are going to be writing.
Yeah, if you look at percentage-wise,
Yes.
she's got, what, 200 million, I don't know how many, but 1% of that is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And I'll tell you this, Sam, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, Corinne Kaplan. She was on Survivor in 2008. And do you know what she did? She sent me a text, something on our website about some hate mail she got from something she did 15 years ago.
Right.
The thing is, when you dox people, Jeff, I know you deal with that too. You know, when you mention people in your songs and you have a rabid fan base, you can walk away and they are left in the entrails of what you've just laid in front of them. And when you have a rabid fan base like she does, I mean, it's.
But she also pours her heart. I get it. So she pours her heart in her lyrics, right? She literally, her art imitates her life. Do you think that she has a greater responsibility to not do that anymore, given Al's point?
No, she's got to do her stuff.
What
but
if she changes the
crazy
name?
people got to stop being crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's saying, don't do that. But there's still people are like, in their mind, they're like, one day I'm going to continue to do this and I'm going to meet Taylor Swift and she's going to be best friends with me because I continued even though she asked me not to, and we're going to bond.
Right.
Hey, psycho. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But people are still going to do it in the hundreds of thousands.
Right.
What is wrong with people?
I mean, it's a lot to put on somebody. And I have friends that this has happened to. When I did my taping in Brooklyn for a show we were pitching, a friend of mine had sent around to security a woman that was stalking him and had left Florida and come to New York City. These are real people. These are real things, and I've seen them happen in real time. And sometimes they just go to people giving your album 1 star or showing up calling in bomb threats. This is not a joke, and I hope we don't have to see a tragedy to change this behavior.
Dang, I went deep on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. It's personal.
It is. All right, so let's get this last one, and we have more details about Kevin Costner's divorce. He was reportedly blindsided when his wife of 18 years served him with divorce papers. That's because he apparently was going to serve her first, but then she beat him to it. He reportedly told his kids about the split over Zoom a day before his wife filed and said he was going to get those papers drawn up, but then he got the papers the following day. Does it matter who serves papers?
Who cares?
Yes, I think your lawyer cares.
Well, legally, we
your
did ask.
Your state, it matters, and like who files first, definitely.
Well, we asked Emily, and it's small things, timeline, I guess but you can always combat it, and then you also get to speak first in the courtroom. That's it. That's at least what I learned. I think this is more an ego thing here. I would rather be served than be the one serving, so I can just be like, wasn't me. Sorry, kids, wasn't me.
Well, he told them the day before.
On the Zoom call,
yeah,
right?
so the kids know.
They knew. Okay, what do you think? What would you do?
Why are we having this conversation? I thought there was an ironclad.
Right, he's got that prenup. I would be like, if someone served me and I had that prenup, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
You know what you're getting, right? Which is nothing. So, yeah, I'll sign whatever you want. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I kind of rather, in this case, be served too if I had that prenup to back me up.
I don't think that was by mistake. I think that serving people, as somebody that's been through a divorce, but my ex-wife and I's divorce was so amicable. We use the same lawyer, like we're a rare case.
Smart.
But, you know, in most situations, I know that people move to certain states and then file, I know that for a fact. Especially that's why a lot of people will.
Oh, because of the divorce in that state, you could do that.
Yeah. So like if you and Sam are married and you get divorced, Sam could move and file. You were going to use our real partners, and you didn't want to jinx it. Yeah. So like Sam could then go to L.A., establish residence with the kids, and then file divorce from there on you, no matter what.
And go under California law?
Yes.
Which is harsh.
Yes.
In divorces.
There's a reason for all of this, man.
You can't just up and take the kids.
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yes. And if you, especially if you have them with them as a primary parent. You can
that
take the kids.
Christmas.
Yeah, that was. I tried to talk about Patti LaBelle.
We've all screwed up.
Primordial parent.
All right, let's get out of here. Coming up on DBL, our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Yoon, is here talking about the latest plastic surgery trends in Hollywood. And can you imagine Tom Hanks instead of Billy Crystal in When Harry Met Sally? We're talking about some of the big roles actors turn down next.
We're live.
Yeah, I was telling Jeff about the basketball player now, basketball analyst Steven Jackson. You know him; he used to play for the Spurs.
Yeah.
And, he says all this on his IG live, so I'm not saying anything. But he was set to get married. He asked the woman in question to get sign a prenup. She delayed till like the week of the wedding. Then it was the night of the wedding. He asked again. The day of the wedding, he asked, and I think she was just leaning on like he won't make this awkward and not get married. And as soon as he called it off, she went to California. And
really,
yeah, and
this is real. Like
this is on. He did an IG live.
Wow.
Yes, it's. I mean.
Yeah, I didn't know how the rules of that work. That seems a little shady.
Because you don't have nefarious intentions, Jeff. If you did, you would know how the rules work.
This next block, we have 3.5 minutes. So just brief reactions in between
Quick
each
one.
one. Be like, wow, I can't even imagine. Well, it's crazy. And then keep going.
All right.
Yeah, I think if you, the law, especially in California, if you want to make it work for you, you can,
You know what's, my buddy, because I did a lot of reality TV, back in the day, and one of my buddies who won The Amazing Race was like, dude, if you're going to continue to do these shows, you should get residency like in Florida, because there's no state tax, and you get to keep, whatever, if you win $1 million, you get to keep all that as opposed to giving half to the government. And I was like, man, I never thought about that. Like, it wasn't like I did that or anything, but it was just interesting that he's like, if you're going to continue on these like game show things, you might want to get some residency somewhere else.
It's all taxes and business.
And I was like, that's actually a smart idea.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you hear people winning stuff on game shows out there.
Welcome back. There are some movie roles that are so iconic you couldn't imagine anyone else playing them, like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky, of course, Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, or Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. But there were some actors who turned down roles that became iconic. I love these. So Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, they had amazing chemistry in When Harry Met Sally, but Tom Hanks wasn't originally offered the role. He turned it down because he had just gotten divorced and was very happy not to be married.
Wow, I could see Tom.
I could easily see Tom in there.
Yeah.
Does Tom Hanks get offered every single role there ever was?
Yeah, yes, that was like at the height of his fame.
And him and Meg Ryan already had this cute chemistry, right?
Yeah, but I couldn't. Harry, they were great. Billy Crystal was great.
Yes.
So Anne Hathaway embodied Meryl Streep's assistant Andy in The Devil Wears Prada, but Rachel McAdams was also considered for that role. Could you see that?
Yes.
You could see them switcheroo it.
I can easily see both of them play that.
Could you see someone else in what's that role where they kiss each other in the rain? You know what I mean?
The
With
Notebook?
Rachel McAdams. Yeah, The Notebook.
How did I know
No.
that?
Good job. Good job.
It's
Al.
just weird because I've never seen The Notebook.
Well, you got my description.
I like this that you did. That was weird.
Me and Al, we're right here, buddy. We're right here.
up,
All right.
synced up.
You can't imagine anyone else playing Han Solo in Star Wars other than Harrison Ford, but Al Pacino revealed he turned down the part.
That would have been weird. I don't see.
I think that's weird.
Yeah, that would have been a career altering.
But him and Chewie talk would be funny, huh?
That would, yeah.
Hey, Chewie. It'd just be funny. All right. Henry Winkler was offered the role of Danny Zuko in Grease, but turned it down because he thought it was too similar to the Fonz. The role, of course, went to the legendary John Travolta.
Thank goodness. That would be odd.
I can't. No, Travolta not having that.
Because it'd be so weird to be like, I'm the Fonz, and now I'm what was their Grease Lightning?
Yeah.
It just
No way. It couldn't work.
He can't be the same role every time. That would have been weird, Al.
It's called a character actor. Yeah, he could. A lot of times, it's the same character.
No.
Cool leather jacket, coolest guy in high school at 41. Yeah.
Back-to-back roles, doing the same thing at 41.
Yes.
No way. Travolta
I've never
crushed
seen
it.
it.
Travolta crushed it. And the movie Speed launched Sandra Bullock's career, but Halle Berry said she could have gotten the part, but she stupidly, in quotes, said she said no to it.
Yeah, I see either. They're both great.
I could too. I really could in that part.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Halle Berry was doing a lot of kind of action. She did.
I think she would have
Swordfish.
Yeah.
I think she would have been great in that role.
Swordfish?
You remember that movie?
Did you like Swordfish?
It was okay.
I mean, I probably know what part you like the best.
That's the
I knew
action
that was-
movie you pulled out of your back pocket.
Well,
she also did Catwoman around that time.
Well, to Al's thing, Travolta was in Swordfish too, right? So maybe that sparked something.
There it is.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, but Swordfish is such an obscure reference that I'm sure Halle
I'm
Berry.
sorry, I have an extensive database of Halle Berry movies.
I heard
Higher
this is a
learning
alleged,
program?
but I heard she got paid double for
Doing that scene?
doing that scene.
That's interesting.
I would hope so. I don't even know what scene you're talking about.
You
but
don't?
I know it must.
If you think of Swordfish, that's the only part you remember.
Well, I've never
Clearly, I
seen
remember
Swordfish.
the action scenes.
I remember the action scenes. All right, this is getting weird. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Yoon is back explaining some of the most popular plastic surgery trends in Hollywood. That's next.
Last year, Mike Reese, who went on OceanGate's expeditions to see the Titanic, spoke on his podcast about the liability waiver he had to sign.
They brought out the waivers for us to sign. Here are some highlights.
I will be exposed to risks associated with high-pressure gases, pure oxygen, high-voltage systems, which could lead to injury, disability, and death. If I am injured, I may not receive immediate medical attention. Welcome aboard.
Waivers are not uncommon in everyday life. You're asked to sign them at amusement parks, gyms, travel tours, and trampoline parks. But if you do sign one, can you later file a lawsuit if something bad happens to you? Let's verify. Our sources, attorney Gary Monty, partner at Monty PLLC, and U.S. Legal, a company that provides legal forms and information. According to U.S. Legal, a waiver can be an effective way for a person or organization to inform people of the risks involved in various activities and to shield the organization from liability.
You could sue, but your lawsuit's not going to last long in court if you signed a waiver.
Monty says you can pretty much sue anyone for anything, but the real question is, how will your claim hold up in court? When it's a situation where you previously signed a liability waiver, a lot depends on what the waiver says and the facts of the case.
The court's going to enforce it in all likelihood, again, with some very limited exceptions.
One exception, if the agreement is considered uncontainable, meaning the terms are extremely one-sided, the court may reject it. U.S. Legal gives examples of releases and waivers that have and have not stood up in court. They say some courts have rejected waivers that don't fully explain the true nature of the activity. Monty says your best bet, don't sign.
My advice is, please don't sign them unless there is an extremely good reason to do that.
So we can verify that, yes, if you sign a waiver, you can still file a lawsuit later. However, it could be more difficult to prove your case in court. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back to DBL. There are lots of plastic surgery stories making their way through Hollywood, and we have questions. Earlier, we spoke with our favorite holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Tony Yoon. Take a look.
All right, Dr. Yoon, all
all the Bravo-holics are talking, including myself. It looks like Real Housewife Teresa Giudice got new plastic surgery, and it's a bit shocking to some. What would cause her to look like this? Oh.
Yeah, this really was a huge, huge shocker when I saw this. A few things. Obviously, she's got a filter on her camera, but I do think she may have had recent plastic surgery. That includes a brow lift. If you can see, her hairline has been apparently moved up, and her brows are higher. Apparently, it looks like she's had a facelift. That's why her neckline is tighter. Most likely, she had some fillers, either with her own fat or facial fillers into her cheeks. And her lips look really plumped up as well. And I do think she may have had a buccal fat removal, which is an operation that takes out fat from the inside of cheeks to make you look more like this.
Wow. Oh. So will this settle?
I do think most likely this is a procedure that was done relatively recently. I would guess that she's probably quite swollen right now because she looks so different than what we're used to. And you give it about a month or two, and I bet you we're going to see photos of her that look a little more like the Teresa that we used to know.
Wow. Tori, this is where you could use your arm thing and be like, she looks great.
Everything is fine with Teresa. Wow.
As it works, it works.
Okay, we talked about this story earlier in the week. Singer BB Rexha, this was really serious, was hit in the face, right in the eye, with a phone, or I say it could have been like, it's like a brick during a concert. She had to go get stitches. It's not a brick, it's a phone. I got it. Will she have a scar? Because that's important in a visual image job.
Yeah, I mean, that idiot hit her with the phone, and she does have a laceration of her eyebrow. It looks like about a centimeter and a half to 2 centimeters long. That will create a scar. That scar is permanent. The things that I would recommend for her to do would be to apply a silicone-based scar cream after about 2 weeks to make sure those sutures are removed after about 5 to 6 days from the injury to prevent little tract suture marks there.
Oh, okay.
And then the other thing she can do is she can apply some sunscreen once it heals to prevent the UV rays from damaging it.
See, if you follow Dr. Yoon, you would have already knew that because he covered it. I knew it too, Dr. Yoon.
At each other, we knew.
I also
we follow you, Dr. Yoon. Several celebs have been talking about getting breast reduction surgery lately. Nicki Minaj is the most recent. Why do you think women are downsizing their breasts? Is it a new trend? And also, I know friends that are explanting, getting rid of their implants just to be healthier.
Yeah, so downsizing and explanting, two very different things, both of them becoming more and more commonplace. As far as downsizing, like with Nicki Minaj, I do think it is a little bit of a trend, is to go smaller. Now, I do think it's important to realize there's a difference between downsizing your implant and undergoing a breast reduction. Downsizing your implant can be a very simple operation. It can take a half hour to an hour with minimal scarring. An actual reduction, where you're making the breast smaller because it's too large, creates long scars, although it can be covered by insurance if your breasts are really, really large.
I've had friends where the back pain, it really, really affects them. Yeah.
All right, so rapper Lotto got a Brazilian butt lift and a 360 liposuction in 2020. So since then, she says she's hired a trainer to help her maintain those surgeries. Is that something people should do if they have surgery? Should they get into the gym to help maintain?
Well, it depends. So I think, in this situation, if you have a surgery like that, in general, those results are permanent. So unless your body changes in a significant way, or obviously as you get older, the body gradually changes as it is, then those results shouldn't change much. However, if you do gain a significant amount of weight, then yes, that can really impact your results. So if Lotto's saying, hey, I got to work out because if I don't, I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to change my figure essentially, then yes, then that is a way to keep those results for her.
Dr. Yoon, we love you. We always love when you join us. DBL Nation, make sure you follow Dr. Yoon across social media at Tony Yoon MD. It's a great follow. Thank you again, Doc. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.
When temperatures begin to rise, finding relief from the heat becomes a top priority. But are there ways to stay cool without burning through your wallet? Many Verify viewers reached out with questions about ways they've heard to beat the heat. So we looked into whether they actually work. First up, will closing your blinds help keep your home cooler? So let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy and Lowe's. When sunlight hits double-pane windows with the blinds open, the DOE says about 76% of it turns into heat. You can help lower that number by closing the blinds. Lowe's recommends using a white blind or shade because it will help deflect more heat. The DOE says the exact percentage saved also depends on the material of your blinds. For example, an insulated shade could reduce unwanted heat by up to 60%, while using just a white curtain will help reduce the heat by 1/3. So, yes, closing your blinds will help keep your home cooler. All right, next up is a question I frequently ask myself when heading to work. Does turning off the AC at home when I leave for the day save money? Admittedly, the answer to this question has a lot of variables, like where you live and how hot it is outside. Generally, our energy experts recommend leaving the air on during the day. Just turn it up a few degrees. Duke Energy explains you'll use less energy keeping your home at a modest temperature throughout the day, rather than blasting the AC when you get home to try and cool the house. Nebraska's Southwest Public Power District notes turning off your AC could cause your refrigerator to work extra hard to keep food cold, which would negate any savings from turning off the air. Plus, humidity levels may increase, leading to mold, mildew, and causing damage to electronics. So, no, in general, turning off the AC when leaving for the day does not save money. This brings us to our final question about staying cool. So, let's verify. Is there a right temperature to maximize savings? The DOE and Energy Star say setting the AC to 78 degrees is the ideal temperature to maximize savings when you're home. This is about 10% cheaper than setting it at 74 degrees. If you live in an especially warm area, then HVAC technicians recommend setting your AC 20 degrees cooler than the outdoor temperature to avoid straining your air conditioning. So, yes, there is a right temperature to maximize savings. We hope these tips help save you a bit of money this summer. We feature even more of your questions about staying cool on verifythis.com. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Protect your joints all summer long with these self-care tips. It's time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. First, take care of your joints when you lift and carry bags. Hang them on your arms instead of your hands. Next, work on your range of motion. Make sure to stretch every day. It's very important, especially before exercising. Lastly, make fish a regular part of your diet. Salmon and mackerel are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which help keep joints healthy. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers. Supported by 30 years of clinical research, Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-607-7643 or visit OmegaXL.com for more information. How do you carry your bags when you're running in?
You
hang them everywhere?
Hold. It makes me feel.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
doing those strongman.
yeah.
Are you a one tripper?
One trip.
One trip,
No
that's
matter
it.
what.
Hang them everywhere. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Hang them everywhere.